Hey everybody, it's Saturday, January 12th. Last night I had sushi for the first time in my life. Well, real sushi. I have consumed fake sushi before from a plastic container found in a grocery store. I'm told that this doesn't count. And now I agree, because after that experience I had figured that sushi was just absolutely nasty stuff and I would never touch it again. Well, some good friends convinced me last night to try a new place in town, and I absolutely loved it. Why am I telling you this, though? Why is it important? It got me thinking. That's why it's important. It got me thinking about something that's really been disturbing me lately, and that is the fact that most people find themselves to be boring. It's not necessarily to say that most people have a small opinion of themselves, but oftentimes that can be linked to it. But most people I know are rather interesting people, but they don't know it. And that's because most people define whether they or other people are interesting by what they do. And that's just the wrong way to look at it, I think. To define whether a person is worth taking time to listen to or care about, whether they're interesting, by factors like who they've met. Have you met any celebrities or politicians? Or by how adventurous they are when it comes to trying new foods? Or by where they've traveled? Or by whether they like exotic things or they stick to just what's comfortable? Those are awful things to judge a person by. They really are. And if you take a moment and think about it, it's really not what people naturally define as factors determining whether a person is interesting or not. Think about family or a best friend, somebody that you love to listen to, because almost every time that they open their mouth, it's not some droll experience that you've heard 100,000 times. Yes, there's a bit of that mixed in. But if that was everything, you probably wouldn't associate with them all that much. There is comfort to be found in a routine, but we like naturally to surround ourselves with interesting things. Not necessarily new, but interesting. And I realize that I'm really kind of devaluing that word by using it over and over and over again, but I hate the word unique. So interesting comes to mind first. So if it's not things like travel and who you've met and things like that that define whether you or a friend or some random stranger is interesting or not, what does? What does? I'm going to argue it's the small things. It is the things that you think are so small and minuscule that they're not worth mentioning to anybody. And so oftentimes they go completely unmentioned. Maybe you read an audiobook on your way back home from college. Maybe you treat yourself every once in a while with some hazelnut coffee. Or caramel or something else. Maybe you have a different type of tea for every mood you're in. Maybe you prefer a certain kind of a cat to another. I don't know. But that doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean that your friends and family don't care. Those are the things that add up. They really do. It's like change. You shouldn't just throw it away. You keep it and you save it. Except for with these things, you don't really have a choice, like with change. You keep it and save it anyway. But you forget that they're there. You forget that those small things are continually adding up. And more so than the big ones. They're defining who you are. They're defining whether you're an honest person, whether you have integrity. They're defining whether you're adventurous or if you like a routine. And one is not better than the other. And you can like both. I'm rather adventurous. But there is a lot to be said for having a nice, comfortable routine to fall back to when the adventures are over. These things add up. They really, really do. And I don't care what it is. I don't. What I care about is the fact that most people never think about them. They see them in other people. These are the things that cause us to fall in love. These are the things that cause us to pick a best friend, or to really love a certain family member. Because they build up, oftentimes subconsciously, and we forget about them. But I hate it. I hate it when somebody I know and care about and think is interesting believes that they're boring. No. Look at what I see. Look in the mirror, and instead of seeing the same old thing, realize how much you've changed, and realize how little that has been the big experiences. Yeah, they do make a difference. They do. And they're fun and exciting. A couple of my favorite things in the world is trying new food and traveling. But no way in earth, heaven, or hell do they define me. Or anybody else. Look, if all we cared about were the big things, when you met a new person, you would ask what celebrities they've met, maybe, if that's something you care about or consider to be a big thing, what kind of foods that they like to try, whether they're adventurous or not, traveled, these other sorts of big things, and you would find out all of that pretty quickly. You could just go down a list, find it all out, and if that's all you cared about, you'd never have to talk to them again. So obviously that's not what makes a person interesting. We just think it is. So, you're not boring. You are worth talking about. You're worth caring about. Don't you ever think otherwise. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So, that over, I want to remind you all that you can send me a message on Tumblr or YouTube anytime, whether you just want to talk, whether it's hate mail, it just goes, doesn't bother me. Or if you have suggestions for a new topic for me to talk about in my videos or on my blog, whatever, go ahead and shoot them my direction. I'd love it. Tomorrow I will be, hopefully, I will be going down to the salon to get a haircut, which, as you can see, I'm in desperate need of. After which, I hope I will have time to record a coming out video. So for those of you interested, I have received a few messages about that. Hopefully all of the answers that you're looking for in my coming out experience will be there, and if they're not, again, you can always message me. So again, it has been a great evening, this Saturday, January 12th, and you are worth caring about. That's the message I want to end with today.